We are so grateful to be supported by sponsors like our friends at Haney and Company. You know, we all know that in today's complex financial landscape, having a trusted advisor can make all the difference. Since 1960, Haney and Company has been providing comprehensive accounting services to a diverse range of clients, from small businesses to large corporations. With nearly 400 professionals across 13 locations, they offer services in tax, audit, business consulting, and client advisory. In fact, their commitment to excellence has earned them recognition from Accounting Today and Forbes magazines. At Haney and Company, though, it's not just about balancing books. It's about building lasting relationships based on trust and mutual growth. So visit HaneyCPAs.com. That's HaneyCPAs.com to learn how they can support your business's financial journey.
We are so grateful to be supported by these community champions: Sales MD, Team Friday, Realist Lab, Kiana Patterson, Diego Chavez, Jer Boucher, Heather Ryder, Janine Sua, Lily Roca, and Steve Kernan.
Hola, hello, it's stoppage time. It's Friday afternoon, and I am here to hang out with you and share some of my thoughts on the week and a couple of big takeaways from our most recent episode, which dropped this Thursday. But I got to admit, I was really struggling all week, honestly. I was really in a weird mental spot. I've been struggling to kind of think about what it was that I wanted to share with you all, which is just supposed to be kind of a distillation of my thoughts on the week and what's been going on, swirling in the world around me, with the world around us, and the work that I'm doing, as well as always kind of reminding you, directing you back to our most recent episode. And I told myself I was struggling to organize my thoughts because I was so consumed with really just two things this week. So it wasn't a particularly complicated week on the surface, but it really was emotionally for me. And one, it was just my focus on my sales efforts, adding new sponsors to support our programming and working with our first few studio production leads, which is really exciting. The opportunity for us and our team to begin to get into the process of pre-production with other companies and brands, where we get to bring our expertise and storytelling perspective, and in some cases, my voice, literally to help these organizations to tell their best stories to their communities and the world at large. So super excited, but it's just internal administrative work. It's just me having these sales type conversations, right, with projects. But beneath that, what really has been bothering me all week emotionally, intellectually, has just been this senseless federal immigration activity that's going on here in Los Angeles, which there was just a crazy, unnecessary show of force activity that happened here Monday, which most of the country and most of the world has now heard about. And it's frankly just really pissed me off since Monday. And so for a bit of this week, I really honestly just thought I didn't really have much to say. I didn't have anything meaningful to share with you all. And then it struck me as I was doing the final edit prep work at the behest of my boss, Deanna Bernal, for the episode that we just dropped with Jocelyn Ramirez this week. It hit me. It struck me. It struck me that the conversation on this week's episode with Jocelyn, which is an immigrant story, like she's the child of immigrants here to Los Angeles, of Mexican and Ecuadorian descent. She grew up in the heart of our city, an immigrant-rich neighborhood in South LA. And we enjoyed this amazingly human and humane discussion about food, family, hope, and struggle. And you see, that's because Jocelyn is a food brand entrepreneur. She's a food, what they call CPG, or consumer packaged goods founder, through her plant-based spices company called Todo Verde. But she's also much more than that. She's an author, she's a chef, she's a New York Times contributor, a social community justice activist here locally, and a food accessibility advocate in our communities in Los Angeles. And Jocelyn inspired me. And that is what has now given me the inspiration, the energy to come and share this with you on my Friday afternoon. She reminded me of essentially two big fundamental takeaways, no matter where we come from, no matter what our background is. And that's that food brings us together as family and as community. And then secondly, that in an immigrant country like the United States, or an immigrant city such as Los Angeles, it's our food experiences and our food memories that mix together to make us who we are. what maddens me is that we should be celebrating these experiences. And that's what Jocelyn reminded me of. She reminded me of the fact that the cultural richness of our differences is what really makes us what we are at our best. But instead of that, what's pissed me off since Monday, and frankly for the last month or so, is this idea that our federal government here in the United States is instead trying to essentially erase 250 years of our actual immigrant history and culture in some feeble-minded, ill-informed attempt to whitewash America back to a day that in their minds, there was one culture and one set of values. But the truth, as our conversation about food and family and culture with Jocelyn this week reminds us, the truth of the United States story is that no such time, there never has been a time when there was one single culture or one single set of values. Frankly, at our best, we're a nation of immigrants. All of us, including me and my family history, are from somewhere else. Unless you are one of the 9.7 million indigenous Native American Indians that live here, the other 331 million-ish of us are immigrant descendants from some other part of the world. And just like we love to share our favorite Mexican or Indian or Italian or German or I don't know, pick a food that you love, right? Chinese food that when we come together to celebrate or grieve all of our milestones in life, like we should be celebrating and defending our differences, not trying to whitewash them away. And so as you can tell, I'm a bit disjointed even still as I join you here on Friday. There's just a lot going on in the world. I talked last week about how I felt like we're in a period of transition. And in many ways, I feel like that is going to be persistent for some time to come. And so maybe it isn't surprising that in a transitionary moment, when I am emotionally and intellectually distracted or consumed by a lot of different things beyond just my work, that I do come across as a little disjointed and maybe a little disorganized in my thinking, because that's a little bit of how I'm feeling. There's a lot going on underneath here. But yet at the end of the day, as I wore my t-shirt today, right, I am proudly and loudly long LA. I am a believer in our city's potential. I'm a believer in our country. I'm long the United States at a moment when it would be very easy to bail on, give up, lose faith in, become disinterested in, or just kind of say, I'm out. I'll leave this problematic period in American history to someone else to try and fix or care about. I'm leaning in instead. I'm literally leaning in to these moments to try and do what we all say on the Entrepreneurial Thinkers episodes every week, which is to, as my mom used to implore us, to try to leave this world a little bit better than we found it. And so I'm just going to continue doing that. I'm going to continue doing that on my podcast here with you all. On Fridays, I'm going to continue doing it in the conversations that I get to have, that I'm so lucky to have with the entrepreneurial thinkers that we invite onto our Entrepreneurial Thinkers podcast every week. And I hope that you will continue to join us on this rich, diverse, exciting journey. And I hope that in your own lives that you'll continue to celebrate our differences and continue to celebrate that which makes us richer and fuller and more experienced in life. Because honestly, we need it more today. I obviously need it more today, but we as a collective need it more today than maybe we ever have. If we truly do want to leave the world a little bit better than we found it. So this is a short one. It's a simple one this week. I really, really encourage you to go check out this episode and enjoy this episode with Jocelyn. You can find it, as always, anywhere you listen to your podcast on any of the audio channels. You can find it on our YouTube channel under our Entrepreneurial Thinkers channel. It was just a really simple but deeply insightful and very specific conversation. And by the way, at the end, if you stick around to the very end of the episode, she drops some amazing plant-based, healthy recipe ideas on how we all can take our favorite recipes, our favorite foods, and start to make them a bit more plant-based, a bit more healthy for us while still maintaining all the tastes and memories that we love. So yeah, that's my week this week. That's a lot of what's been on my mind. I gotta jump off, and even though it's Friday, I still got some work to do. So I've got to continue to have some of these conversations with our prospective studio partners on their shows, and I've got to continue to talk to some prospective sponsors this weekend. So I got a little bit of work to do to keep the stream moving forward, so that I can keep coming back here with you all every Friday and enjoy Stoppage Time, and so that you can jump into our feeds on Thursdays every week and continue to enjoy our Entrepreneurial Thinker show. So peace, love, joy this weekend. I hope you get outside. It's summer wherever you are, I would imagine, unless you're listening down the southern hemisphere, and then it's fall, winter. And so I hope you get outside, get into nature, touch some grass, as the kids say, climb a hill, break a sweat, let the sunshine beat down on your face a bit, and just enjoy this bit of stoppage time between the end of your busy week and the weekend to come. So, peace.
We are so grateful to be supported by sponsors like our friends at Chisos Capital. Everyone knows that raising capital is hard. And frankly, finding the next pool of entrepreneurs to get access to as limited investors is sometimes impossible too. Do you have a big idea, a dream you're building, but you're struggling to find early funding? Well, Chisos is changing the game for founders, creators, athletes, and investors. Whether you're launching a startup, growing your creative brand, or training for the big leagues, Chisos backs you. Chisos uniquely invests up to $100,000 in people, not just products, whether they be entrepreneurs, creators, or even athletes. With their unique CISA model, convertible income share agreements, founders get flexible funding without giving up equity or ownership, and investors get attractive returns and great upside with less risk. Chisos works for both investors and the people bringing our world to life. If you're seeking access to a truly diverse pool of deals, or you're someone who feels overlooked by the VC game, Chisos is ready to back you. So apply now at chisos.io.